Hey Homespot family, welcome back. Today we're unlocking effortless elegance for tiny front yards, airy arches, inviting gates, and plant palettes that do more with less. Stay with me as we turn narrow paths into grand arrivals using texture, light, and proportion. If you crave instant curb appeal without fuss, this episode is your blueprint for beautiful, stress-free garden entryways. A slender willow-twig arch frames a ribbon of pale gravel, inviting guests to slow down before the threshold. Low boxwood mounds keep the lines tidy while creeping time softens edges. The petite black picket gate feels friendly, guiding movement without blocking neighborhood views. Seasonal interest stays effortless. Spring flowers brush the path, summer fragrance lingers, autumn seed heads glow, and winter structure remains tidy. Materials weather gracefully, so maintenance stays light. The composition balances rustic charm and clarity, emphasizing texture, scent, and rhythm over complexity or costly ornamental features. A powder-coated white lattice arch leads to a narrow gate, brightening even-shaded facades. Twin borders of lavender define the approach with color and calm movement. Underfoot, crushed marble chips bounce light into the entry, making small spaces feel more open, polished, and welcoming. This look prioritizes symmetry and serenity. Evergreen anchors keep form year-round, while lavender adds bees and fragrance. The crisp white framework pairs with virtually any exterior palette. Minimal upkeep and drought tolerance make the scheme elegant, yet practical for busy households and compact front setbacks. A matte black steel hoop arch sets a crisp outline against foliage, paired with a vertical slat gate that hints at what lies beyond. The path centers on a compact magnolia, its glossy leaves and seasonal blooms creating a sculptural pivot that rewards slow, mindful arrivals. Clipped myrtle hedging maintains the clean geometry, while mulch or fine gravel keeps maintenance low. The contrast of dark metal and luminous leaves reads modern, yet timeless. Subtle uplights graze the magnolia canopy, drawing the eye upward and making the entry feel taller and more intentional. Short brick piers anchor a classic rose arch, grounding the composition and echoing traditional architecture. A narrow wood gate provides a friendly pause before entry. Herringbone brick underfoot adds pattern and traction, with time tucked between joints to perfume each step and soften the masonry. Roses lend romance without overpowering a small frontage. Choose repeat blooming varieties for long seasons of color. The Brick-Piers give permanence. The planting keeps things lively. Together, they craft a storybook welcome that feels handcrafted, enduring, and surprisingly easy to maintain with routine light pruning. A curved bamboo arch arcs over a half-moon gate, setting a tranquil mood immediately at the curb. Flat stepping stones float through moss, leading visitors toward the door with soft, quiet cues. Compact, clumping bamboos provide vertical rhythm without spreading into neighboring planting beds. Natural textures and gentle curves emphasize calm movement rather than ornament. The palette, bamboo, stone, moss, ages beautifully and needs minimal fuss. A single water bowl or small lantern can act as a focus, reinforcing intention while preserving the understated, restorative character of the entry journey. A white painted arbor wrapped with natural rope details evokes breezy maritime character. The gate's X-brace repeats the coastal motif, while blue fescue borders and seashell gravel nod to shoreline textures. The palette remains airy, lifting facades and making modest front yards feel brighter and fresher. This composition celebrates informality without disorder. Durable materials shrug off weather, and grasses sway attractively in wind. Soft gray hardscape keeps glare down while extending usable space. Add a single salt-tolerant climber for seasonal interest, letting the rope accents and clean geometry carry the design year-round. A charred timber arch and slatted gate bring deep, elegant contrast to surrounding greenery. Granite stepping stones settle into ground cover, guiding footsteps with quiet restraint. Many cloud-pruned shrubs add sculptural punctuation, while a small stone lantern provides a contemplative focal point near the threshold. The dark wood finish resists weather and highlights plant textures. Low-maintenance evergreens preserve structure across seasons, so the space feels composed even in winter. Subtle lighting within the slats glows like embers at dusk, casting delicate shadows that make the entry ceremonial without being formal. Slim arched trellis panels form a light tunnel, steering visitors toward a cedar gate. Dwarf conifers provide sculptural mass, their varied needles contrasting against white gravel. The pathway stays narrow but legible, its brightness and repetition creating the sensation of depth within a compact frontage. This modern scheme balances rhythm and restraint. The trellises invite seasonal vines without crowding the walk. Evergreen structure simplifies care and guarantees winter presence. At night, small path lights punctuate the geometry, turning the entry into a luminous line drawing that feels precise yet welcoming. A low white picket gate greets the street, tucked under a timber arch smothered with clematis. Catmint and daisies edge the path, offering color and pollinator traffic. The approach feels charming and intimate, with layered textures that flatter older homes and contemporary cottages alike. Despite its romance, the layout stays practical. The planting palette is drought-tolerant and forgiving. The path remains visible, and the picket height preserves neighborly connection. Seasonal cleanup is simple, and the arch can host alternating climbers to refresh colors without changing the overall structure. An ornate wrought iron arch and scroll gate introduce warmth and craftsmanship, complemented by potted dwarf olives. Terracotta chip mulch and trailing rosemary add scent and softness, keeping the palette sun-kissed and restrained. The composition turns even a narrow setback into a graceful, old-world threshold. Evergreen bones ensure year-round poise, while silvery leaves bounce light and reduce visual bulk. The gate's patterned shadows enliven the ground plane through the day. Low, aromatic herbs at the edges invite touch, making every arrival multisensory without complicating maintenance or watering routines. Rough stone side posts act like miniature gatehouse jambs, while a thin stainless wire traces the arch overhead. A simple cedar gate fills the opening. Creeping thyme and sedum create a living carpet, knitting hardscape and architecture into a single, grounded gesture. The hybrid structure keeps weight low up top, so the entry never feels heavy. Stone texture provides gravitas. The wire line provides finesse. This pairing suits diverse facades, from rustic to modern. Plants do the softening work, thriving in lean soils with minimal care. A simple split-rail gate sits beneath a vine-wrapped arch, framed by a pocket meadow of low native wildflowers. A narrow mown ribbon cuts through, signaling entry while preserving habitat. The composition feels open and cheerful, transforming a tiny frontage into a lively, seasonal stage. Because the plantings are adapted to local conditions, watering and fertilizing are modest. Seed heads and movement matter as much as bloom color. The result is a welcoming threshold that supports pollinators, celebrates seasonality, and reads as intentional, not overgrown, ideal for relaxed streetscapes and cottage facades. A short pergola transitions into an arched gate, creating a compressed sequence that lengthens the journey from street to door. Paired planters with star jasmine flank the path, adding fragrance and vertical green. Porcelain pavers in running bond lend crisp alignment and easy cleaning. The hybrid structure offers dappled shade without closing views. Seasonal vines can be rotated for variety. The repeated beams and curves guide the eye, while the narrow path remains clear for deliveries and strollers. It's an elegant way to layer depth in a very slim frontage. Pale ashwood arch and slat gate bring gentle brightness to shaded entries. Ferns and hostas fill the beds, their broad leaves catching diffuse light and dewing after rain. Fine granite gravel underfoot keeps the palette cool and simple, emphasizing form and understated texture. This scheme thrives on restraint, just a few species repeated. The light timber reads fresh and contemporary, weathering softly over time. A single bench or boulder can anchor the composition without crowding circulation. The result feels serene, breathable, and quietly luxurious. A soft pastel arch crowns a scalloped gate, setting a playful yet refined tone from the curb. Silver foliage, helichrysum and santolina, brightens the base, while pale stone chips extend the palette underfoot. A centered stepping stone path leads the eye directly to the welcoming doorway. Color does the lifting here, so the planting can stay simple and drought-tolerant. Pastel paint refreshes easily and pairs with many facade colors. The mix of matte timber and silvery leaves creates gentle contrast, keeping the entry sweet, elegant, and surprisingly low effort. Thanks for watching, friends. We explored smart arches, right-sized gates, and planting rhythms that make small entries feel spacious, seasonal, and serene. Remember, repetition, contrast, and subtle lighting shape a memorable welcome. If these ideas sparked your imagination, please like the video Subscribe to Homespot for more design inspiration and share your favorite entryway in the comments. See you in the next episode.